PJD2102.7FM and 1300 AM, man. Don't take away the music. A blast from the past. Master D taking us way back to 1976. Was it 76? It's 76, man. Wow, what a way to start the program this morning, man. I want to shout out pleasant good morning to everyone, all the listeners. You know, once you hear that jingle on Saturday morning, you know we're on. Sports Forum is in the building. We're streaming live on Facebook. The countdown is on. Last Saturday of 2023. You got to make this Saturday great, because you're not going to see another Saturday until next year again. So make it great. Make the best out of the last Saturday of the year. As usual, every Saturday morning, we have a guest in the studios with us to talk about sports. This morning, we have the pleasure to have back with us for the second time, none other than a local baseball talent who has been out for the last 6 months, not last 3 months, 3-4 months, going back a little further than that. But he's been out making some big moves out there in baseball land, and it's a pleasure to have him back in the studios with us. This morning he came in by himself without the usual crew. So let me say pleasant good morning to Mr. Julius King. Julius, good morning and welcome to the program, man.
Good morning, Mr. Aventurin. Thank you for having me here once again.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you back, man. Shout out to, of course, Clavis Henderson, always in tune to the program, man. Glad to have you on. And so, Julius, man, you look like since we last spoke, man, you gained some mass.
Yeah.
So you've been working out in the gym every day?
I had to be working out every day because, the training that we had here in the gym is nothing compared to what those guys doing over there, and it's 3 or 4 times a week. And it's not, lightweight. It's training for strength and is pushing your max almost 3 times, 4 times a week.
Wow.
So I had to catch up with those guys.
When you say pushing your max, so how much you been pressing, man?
All right, so my bench press, 230 is my max right now. Leg press, I press 605 for leg press, and deadlift, I think it was about 300 pounds. So I went up a lot.
Wow. So take us back, Julius, man. Remind us when you're a baseball player. How did this dream into baseball start again for you guys? For
me, okay, the dream started off when I was about 8 years old. My big brother Julius King, who has been guiding me throughout the whole baseball process. He was in the baseball, and I just fell into baseball. I played soccer for a small bit of time, and then I just fell into baseball. My younger brother, he started at 4 years old, so that's where it all started off, from Junior King.
Junior King. Hey, he's tuned in on Facebook, man. Pleasant good morning to you, Junior. Your brother here giving you the props. So, and they got a shout out to your father, Mr. Villeneuve King, who's also in tune. He posted some pictures there. It was great to see some of those pictures that he posted with Sensei Oscar Herbert. He passed away last week. So that was definitely good to see back in the days, because a lot of things are not documented, and to get the insight into what used to happen in the past with martial arts. So now you started off. Who did you play for? You played the league or pony league?
Little league. So I grew up playing with Coach Tom Burnett, and his team was the Daily Herald. So I grew up playing with Coach Tom. Most of the time until about when we had the under 16, I think he didn't have a team, and then.
So what position you started off playing?
I started off as a catcher, as a third baseman, and then I pitched for a bit. I pitched in the Pelican League as well, and then I just gravitated to first base and third base.
Okay.
I mean, I could do the outfield as well. I could play all positions.
All positions.
Yeah.
How you doing? I don't want to cut you off, right? And we use the word king, right? We know that there were two brothers here, so back in the years, Brian King and Leroy King. Are he related to them?
Well, let's ask him. You related to Brian and Leroy King? I don't think so. No. Those are that's the Aruba connection, man.
Yeah, but listen, they can't be related because it's king. You know, the title king doesn't show up here like a king.
Yeah.
So they may be related. We have to ask his father. His father's online looking. He could tell us. He could most probably tell us if we get a message from his father online, if he responds online telling us that he's, then we know, because Master D mentioned Brian King. Brian King was an all-round talented sportsman back in the 80s, 70s, 80s here, 80s, 90s here in St. Martin. He played almost every sport. Brian King, he came in from Aruba, and he played baseball. He was a pitcher. He also played basketball. He also played volleyball. I saw some pictures from Brian King where he played volleyball. So let's see if we maybe your father have some more historical information and lets us know if you guys are related to Brian and Leroy King. Yeah. Okay. He's saying that he will look. He's not sure, so he's gonna look into it. Whether he have a Arubian connection. Maybe an uncle from you guys who were, dropped off in Aruba. So you played with the Daily Herald, and you also during that period you also went away with the league selections.
Yes, I went away with the Little League selection. So my first tournament with the Little League was, I believe, under 16, I believe, when the tournament was hosted here.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, right, one of my teammates, he was actually on the Puerto Rico team that same year. So it's crazy how small the world is, and he's on my baseball team at Bethany. So it's real crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the league selection team that you played on, you could remember the players that team, the players that were on that team at the time?
Yes, majority. We had Bob. I can't remember their last names.
Okay.
Bob. We had Keanu Jacobs.
Okay.
We had Julian.
He's at Grambling.
Yes, right now
in the U.S. now.
Yeah, we had Julian Peterson. We had Rashad. Kimar. Claudino. Those could come up on top of my head right now.
How was that first experience playing at home?
It was very
a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, because you never see the stands filled with so many people, and then you had the Venezuelans, I believe, were playing the bungalows up in the stands, screaming and shouting, and you're hearing the trumpet. So it was really scary at the moment, because it's the first time you actually see the field so filled.
And how did the tournament go for St. Martin? Because unfortunately, a lot of these things not documented.
That's right. So the tournament went bad for us on the one hand. I think we were not properly prepared to face the outside competition. So that's the biggest takeaway.
When you say not properly prepared, I mean you guys were training. You guys trained.
We were training, but not to the standard where I would say a 16-year-old should be. We train 2-3 times a week for 2 hours, probably fielding, batting, but it's not effective.
So let me ask you this: based on your experience now, because you have been through a number of rigorous trainings, your training camps, you're currently in college playing ball. Now, how would you, if asked, how would you prepare? If they would come up here for some strange reason and tell you, now listen, Julius, I want you to prepare some young guys for an upcoming tournament.
Okay.
What would be your approach to that? I try you because I'll loop here now.
Because
based on what you have experienced up until now.
Okay, first of all, we will need for sure the facilities, a lot of equipment, because we really don't have as much facilities and equipment to say, hey, we can.
When you say equipment, what kind of equipment would you have?
Pitching machines, batting cages, indoor facility. I know we have nice weather, but at the same time, to have an indoor facility, you could get in a lot more work than being outside in the sun.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, pitching machines is one of the biggest things because our players here on St. Martin, we don't see 90 miles an hour. You know, even if you throw overhand behind of a net, is still coming at probably 50 miles an hour.
So you would want to focus the guys on getting their batting up the order in order,
Yes.
For some stiff,
that's right,
competitive pitching.
That's right. Not forgetting the arm. You need a strong arm. Longevity. You need we call it like heavy balls. 12 ounces. You long toss with those balls to build up your arm strength.
Okay, that's great. All right, radio listeners, if you just joined us, you're in tune to Sports Forum on PJD2, the last Saturday of 2023. The year's come to an end, man. Wow. We're getting ready for 2024. And in the studios with us is Julius King. You got greetings coming in from Jamal Cummings. You remember Jamal?
Yes, I do.
Umpire. He's sending out some greetings there for you, man. Shout out, of course, to Super Dave. Super Dave, how you doing, man? Always in tune to the program. So thank you guys for tuning in. Now, so after Little League, where did your career take you from there?
It took me down to the Dominican Republic. As I said, going back to my big brother, Julius King.
Mm-hmm.
He had some connections down there. And I trained in the Dominican Republic for a year. And after the Dominican Republic...
How was that? Because, I mean, you just straight out, like, I trained in the Dominican Republic. So how was it? How old were you when you went to the Dominican Republic to train?
I was 19 years old when I went down there. I went by myself, the first time in a Spanish-speaking country. It was really hard in the beginning, but then as the days goes by, the players are Spanish, you're English.
So how you communicate to them?
I knew a little bit of Spanish from school. Okay. So that helped me go through, and then I use Google Translate sometimes, and then just trying to understand what they're saying.
But is it difficult to understand the coaches that because you're there training? So is it difficult to understand? Are the coaches speaking English or Spanish?
The coach is speaking Spanish.
They're speaking Spanish
for sure. And
so how easy it is then, because what kind of strategies you using to understand what they're saying?
So good question. My strategy was to let the guys go first, and then I would watch what they do and pick up after them. Okay. And if the coach has something to tell me, he would come in. He would speak, but I won't understand. But he would show me. Okay. So that's how I would pick up on the training. So
this was extremely difficult because you would have to, you have to wait and observe first. And
That's right.
So it's extremely difficult.
Yes, but then when you're in the moment, you don't see it as difficult. You see it as a learning process, because you want to gain that experience, gain that knowledge from them. So you don't see it as difficult. You try to pick up on small words, and day by day you try to pick up, you could speak Spanish.
All right. The Dominican Republic. You gotta tell us a bit more about how that experience is down there. Shout out to Alex and Billy over there in St. Eustatius, man. You rolled out an impressive listing of young talent that is gonna be that is committed to schools in the States, man. You gotta give us a call. Give us a call later on in the program, man. Call us on the regular telephone line so that we could have a chat with you, Billy. Talk to you about what's going on with all those talented players, softball and baseball players that have been committed to teams in the U.S. Give us a call. Here at the studios or after the midway in the program, man, Billy. Let's chit chat a bit and get some more information on what's going on with those athletes. So, Dominican Republic, you training. How much times a day you guys would train in the Dominican Republic?
3 times a day.
3 times a day?
Yes, sir.
So you wake up in the morning. What's the routine?
We wake up at 5:30, and then we go
every day.
Every day.
Wow.
Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sundays are rest days.
Okay.
So we wake up at 5. We go to the beach at 5:30. We do agility training on the beach.
Which part of the Dominican Republic you was?
I was in Guayacanes. That's close to San Pedro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a special facility for baseball players.
I mean, everywhere you go, they have let's say coaches that has their academies.
Okay, so this is an academy, a baseball academy.
Baseball academy, yes.
What's the name of the academy?
It's called Sasa's Academy.
Sasa's
Yeah.
Academy. Okay, I think the son of Daniel Boat.
That's right. Yeah.
Marvin Boat's son is at Zaza.
Yeah, we invited in over
Okay.
there. Yeah.
So you wake up every morning at 5:30. You go to the beach, do agility training.
Yes. So about from 5:30 to 7, and then from 9:30 we head to the field. We finish at about 12:30, 1, and then we have a rest until 5. So from 5 to about 7 p.m. we are at the gym.
At the gym doing
Workouts. Yeah.
workouts. So from 9:30 to 12, what are some of the trainings that you guys go through? What are they focusing on?
So we focus on the fielding drills, fielding mechanics, hitting mechanics, arm strengthening. Again, going back to throwing the ball, because you need endurance in your arm. You need that strength to actually throw hard.
Okay, so you focus on those things. And how much coaches are working with academy? Is it one coach, or do you have a special number of coaches?
At that time when I was there, it was 2 coaches, Sasa himself, and then we had like a BP coach. He would just literally come and throw batting practice for us.
Okay. So now, how was the living circumstances down there? Because you're down there and you're living also in the academy?
Yes, I was living in an academy. So the living circumstances is way different from home in St. Martin, It's not where everyone would think it would be, but when you
say it's not where everyone would think it would be, what is it? what is it? How is it?
Okay, so it's below the standard. When I say the standard, I mean a shower, a running faucet. Over there we had just a pipe. You put it in a bucket and then you take like a scoop and you take a shower.
So back you're going back. That
yes,
like,
yes.
But I mean, prehistoric times.
That's right. I mean, if you come with the mindset of, hey, I come to learn baseball, you wouldn't really focus on those things. So me, it was just, okay, I need to take a shower, let me just take my shower. It didn't really bother me as much,
Now, how was it interacting or the camaraderie amongst the other players? Because you guys are not teammates. You guys are actually sometimes competing against each other. So how does that work, for example? What position you were mostly training at that stage down in Dominican?
At that stage, I was training at third base. So it was about 4 or 5 of us. And it's just, it's a battle of the fittest, who could throw the hardest, who feels the ball the smoothest, and when someone, I would say call you out, they make a nice play, they'll say, hey, and then would say, okay, you call me out, let me do better than you. So in a sense, you're fighting against each other, but it's a friendly battle.
Okay.
And that friendly battle brings both of you guys up, and it also encourages the others to
a nice competitive spirit amongst the players. And the most of the guys in the academy were from the Dominican Republic.
That's right.
So there was no other guys from Curacao or Aruba?
No, we had 2 guys from Cuba.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it. Only 2 other guys from Cuba, but they weren't in the academy. They used to come to train.
Now, at a certain point, you left the academy.
That's right.
Now, the aim of the academy was just to improve your way, call it, or was it to prepare you for tryouts and stuff like that?
It was to prepare for what's next. And what was next after I left the Dominican Republic was a collegiate league in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Where Junior again who came in and he had another connection in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And from there, that's where I received my baseball scholarship to attend to Bethany College.
So tell us about that Puerto Rico league. How should we understand that? That was, you went over there and that was just, you were selected by a team, or how does that go?
So it's basically a collegiate league, a summer league, those.
So it was a summer league?
Yeah, summer league. But it's also where you get to showcase your talent to other college coaches.
Okay.
So
it was like a talent showcase?
That's right. With games involved, plus training and everything involved. So right there, and then we had about 20 games. We had training in the morning on the beach, and those coaches that were out there, they evaluate you and see what they like, and I was one of the first to get a scholarship from Bethany College, and so there were only two of us that time that got a scholarship.
So the players in that league, the players in that league that in that summer league or the talent showcase, they were from all over the Caribbean or just mainly from Puerto Rico?
There were some from Puerto Rico and mostly from the United States, because
so players from the United States also came down there.
Yes, because to them, most of the guys were already committed to colleges in the U.S., but to stay in shape over the summer, they came down to Puerto Rico. Yes,
to play some summer ball or winter ball or what do you call it? Winter or summer ball?
Summer, yeah.
So then you was off to Bethany College. Well, Bethany College is where, which part?
It's in Lindsborg, Kansas.
Lindsborg, Kansas.
Yes, sir.
And Lindsborg, Kansas. That ever been there before?
No, I never been to the United States.
Never.
So this was my first time, going in there.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was a crazy experience. On the airport is humongous, Trains on the airport, which something I never seen before. Almost got lost on the airport twice, but
So you traveled by yourself?
By myself, yeah.
Wow. that was a big step, man.
Yeah, that's
traveling
right.
by yourself. So you traveled by yourself, and the school made arrangements to pick you up on the airport.
Yeah, that's right. So once I came in, I had my coach already outside waiting for me. So as I came off, we introduced ourselves, and then we started to go.
Okay. And then they took you to Bethany College. You had to go by the train or by bus?
No, we drove it. It's like an hour away from the airport.
Now take us through your first days in so you gone there. Now you're in a dorm. They put you in dorms.
Yeah. So school start. I came in on the 23rd in the morning at about 1 a.m. The 23rd of August, which is on my birthday, and that was the first day of classes. And on the first day of classes, we had homework. And I was like, okay, so no introduction week, nothing. Straight into
you missed that.
Yeah. So it was quite challenging the first 3 months, because the workload is way different from what we have here in St. Martin. And it was really different, but just being focused and dedicated and managing your time properly is what really got me through it.
Well, you had any guidance, any support there at the school, or you were just left to your own recourses to try to figure it out on your own? Or...
No, you have guidance. The school offers tutoring, and you have your guidance counselor, your advisors, and what's not that you could always go to and ask for help. But for me, it was just the pressure in the beginning. I kind of had to cut down on other stuff, like the phone, the practice, and just focus solely on the schoolwork, because I'm majoring in finance and business administration.
Wow, those two heavy ones.
Yes, two heavy ones, and I'm going for my bachelor's.
Okay.
So it's just, to me, how I took it was, you need to block out everything, and you know what's your goal. Because on a scholarship, there is pressure. The school is paying you to come to their college. So they're paying me to attend their school. So I cannot fail classes and expect to be on the baseball team. You're a student athlete, not an athlete student. So your grades has to be
student first.
That's right. So, and would you imagine that I came out with a 3.5 GPA and I'm on the dean's list my first semester, and it's like, in the beginning I was oh my god, how am I gonna do this? And
so how did you do it?
Stay dedicated. As I would always say, going back to time management, the way you manage your time is what matters. Because being in Kansas, we're 2 hours away from St. Martin, 2 hours behind. So when mom and dad is going to bed, I'm saying good night. I'm saying good night, mom and dad. And
but you still have 2 hours more to go.
I still have 2 hours more to go. Sometimes 3. When I finish work, I have to stay up until 12 in the morning. Sometimes 12:30, just trying to finish up assignments, because, I know I need to keep up my grades. And it was me on my own. I couldn't go run, hey, over here, could you do my homework? No, it was me on my own, and it also teaches you how to be independent at the same time, and not being afraid to look out for help.
So now that's the academic part. How did the baseball part go? How did the baseball part go? Tell us a bit about that experience.
The baseball aspect, it's way different from what we have here back home in St. Martin. The first, I would say 2 months, it was kind of a struggle to keep up with the guys. because they're already seasoned in their baseball. You know, as I say, in the gym, those guys were lifting 200-300 pounds, and I'm behind, you know, like a little baby, you know, you know. So my goal was to, you know, keep up with the guys and probably even pass them, because the coach watches you in your training and in the gym. If you take the gym, how you say, you go loosey goosey in the gym. What you think your perspective of a player that the coach have in their mind of you, they're going to think you're going to be loosey goosey on the field as well.
So the coach looking at your overall.
That's right. So I had to pick up with the guys in the gym. You know, I was way behind, and what I did, I had 3 classes per day, and I said, okay, in between here, I could go to the gym for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then go to my next class. So I was in class, gym, class, rest, class. You know, so I just had to, as I would always go back to it, time management.
You got to manage your time
That's
adequately. All right, radio listeners, if you just joined us, you're in tune to Sports Forum on PJD2102.7 FM and 1300 AM. I'm Antonio venturing in here for the full hour with you. We're talking this morning with St. Martin, young, talented baseball player, attending Bethany College in Kansas. Mr. Julius King, the brother of his older brother is Junior King, and he's here with us discussing his first semester in college, the experiences that he had. And if you missed the first part of the program, man, you missed some important information. One of his key things that he's focusing on here, 3.5 GPA, man, kudos to him. Academics, when you're a student athlete, so I hope a lot of those student athletes who have been committed now to different universities and colleges and universities all over the U.S., that they're listening in and taking away something from this conversation here, because it's not only about baseball. You have to manage your academics as well. You know, you have to do good in school as well. Otherwise, you can't play, right?
That's right.
So what if your GPA go below which GPA they would stop you from playing? You know
a
that? 2.0.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you can't play anymore.
You cannot play. Yeah.
Wow. Now, you spoke about the gym, the baseball game itself, and the training. How does that go at Bethany College?
What do you mean, like how we go about it?
Yeah, so you spoke a bit about the gym and working out in the gym, but besides the gym, you guys also
on the field
train on the field and stuff.
On the field is Monday to Friday, and on Saturdays we have games. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday we have games. But for training is Monday to Friday. So we go over fielding drills. We have how would you say, codes that we would signal to the players on the field, where we don't let the other team know what we're doing. Instead of saying, hey, double play, you know, we would tap, you know, give signs.
So you playbook or something.
That's right.
You have to study the playbook as well.
That's right. You need to study the playbook, and, you know, you need to stay up to date, because the coach cannot be shouting to you when the other team could hear. You know, so
he can give you a signal.
That's right.
So how did that go? How did the first day? Tell us about how did the first day at practice go?
The first day at practice, I wouldn't say it was kind of awkward, you know, getting to know everyone. You know, when you're standing in the line to field the balls, everyone is like silent. No one is saying anything. And the guys that know each other, they're speaking. And then, you know, you being a freshman, you come in and speaking with the guys. It's kind of weird in the beginning, but then after a while, the baseball just brought everyone together, you know. So it was wonderful training with the guys. We have 3 coaches that, you know, trains us and what's not. So it's just great. It's just a different environment. Everyone wants to learn and grow, and it's everyone holding you accountable of your decisions on the field.
Now, which division does Bethany baseball team play in?
So we're under the NEIA. So there's Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. So we're under the NEIA, which is a branch off of the NCAA.
Okay.
So there's NCAA and NJCAA. That's a
junior colleges.
And then you have the NEIA, which is a separate branch as well.
Okay. So which division is Bethany in?
NEIA. So,
but
and-
Division 1, Division 2?
Well, I believe it's Division 2, but you don't. When you say NAIA, you don't say NAIA Division 2. You just say NAIA. So then
Okay.
you know you're categorized in a different league.
So now at the school, how many baseball teams how many baseball teams does the school itself have?
So we have the varsity and the junior varsity. So
Okay.
the varsity is basically like the major leagues, and then the junior varsity is the minor leagues. So anytime you could get called up or you could get sent down. It all depends on your performance.
Okay. So as a freshman, which you fall into the junior varsity or you went directly into the varsity?
Well, the teams hasn't been made as yet. So once we go back in, our first game is in February the 9th.
Okay.
So from January until February, we will know who made the team.
Okay, who make the
The
varsity
team, yeah.
And of course, if you're in the junior varsity team, you still have the same amount of games and stuff like that.
No, not the same amount, but you have less. So
Yeah.
the varsity has about 55 games, and then the junior varsity has about 20, 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was your first practice was a good experience. So what's the feedback you're getting from the coaches?
From the coaches,
At
it's
the
just
school.
to be a little bit more confident in my case when I'm in the plate, because as I said, going back, when you come from St. Martin, you're seeing slow pitching, and then over there you're seeing 95, and it's like whoa, So the coaches was just be more confident, and he always let me know, hey, if you need extra training, let me know, because you have the pitching machine, we have the indoor facility, and we could train at any time.
So you took him up on
Yes,
that
yes,
offer?
I did, yes. And the coaches, they're very responsive. They're not laid back to say where you have to always be nagging. Hey, coach, could you train me? You ask once, twice, they know. Okay, let's make a schedule.
So how much time in the pitch you dedicating in the pitching
In the
machine?
pitching machine, I try to do it at least once a week, because we need to take it from the field to bring it into the indoor facility. So sometimes it's a burden to bring it over. So I try to at least do it once a week when I have time.
Okay. All right. Shout out to Julian Richards up there in the U.S., man. Always tune in. The tops. You're getting congratulations from him for focusing on your academics first.
Thank you.
Of course, we know the tops. He's was one of the top runners, all around good physical education teachers here on St. Martin, man. Now, almost reaching the pension age up there in the U.S. So, hey, shout out to Mark Richardson, my buddy down there in Trinidad, man. How are things going down there in Trinidad? Let me also shout out to your loving and caring wife, Miss Marsha Pierre. So my good friend, and shout out to them down there enjoying their summer vacation. No, their Christmas vacation. I'm jumping ahead. Their Christmas and New Year's holidays down there in Trinidad. So let's go over to some highlights from the week in sports. And if we look at the Daily Herald, the edition of December 29th to December 30th, Sportsperson of the Year for the Daily Herald is Gerwin Smalley Lake. And the Daily Herald has selected him as the Sportsperson of the Year. Let's take a look at this story. Gerwin Lake is called Smalley. He may be small at just 1.77 meters tall, but he's fast on his feet and can find the back of the football net. In fact, he's been the top scorer for St. Martin 2 years in a row. Lake is the Daily Herald Sportsperson of the Year 2023. Gerwin Lake was born in Curacao to a father from Curacao and a mother from St. Martin. The nickname stems from his brother Gershwin, who has the moniker Biggie. So one is Smalley and one is Biggie. Lake first featured on the St. Martin national team in 2019 in the CONCACAF Nation League qualifiers against French St. Martin. Lake scored twice in the 4-3 victory for the St. Martin team. Lake would go on to score at least one goal in the first 5 matches he played for St. Martin. He caught the attention of the Nation League organizers, and at the end of the competition he was named League C Division best League C Division best 11 squad. Lake led the league all divisions with 8 goals. St. Martin won their group and were promoted to Nation League B Division. Lake lives in the Netherlands and plays for FC Portugal, but returns to St. Martin whenever needed. He made the top 19 list of all-time scorers in the CONCACAF Nation Leagues and is St. Martin all-time top international scorer. But times were not always good for St. Martin prior to Lake's arrival. The national team lost a lot of matches and often by double digits. So Lake has really made a big difference for St. Martin, because back then it would be like 13-0, Lake said. They were losing terribly, and I was like, maybe I could give it a try and try to help them improve a bit. Lake has not looked back. He has made 17 international appearances for St. Martin. He appeared for the national team in 5 games in 2019, scored 7 goals. In 2022, he played 4 games and scored 4 times. In 2023, he featured in 8 games and netted the ball for St. Martin 6 times. All the while, Lake lived and worked in the Netherlands and commuted to St. Martin for national team matches. Gerwin's family is of the Lakes in St. Peter's, explained Johnny Singh, president of the St. Martin Soccer Association. He is St. Martin's all-time international top scorer. Besides 11 versus 11, he also plays futsal in the Netherlands at the highest level. More importantly, Lake was named to the B-level Best 11 team in November for his dedication to the sport and to St. Martin. Gerwin Lake is the Daily Herald's sports person of 2023. Congratulations to St. Martin's top scorer. Impressive performance from Gerwin Smalley Lake. So congratulations again. And that story came from the Daily Herald. You're in tune to Sports Forum, and I'm Antonio Venturin here in the studios with you. Winding down 2023, the last Saturday of the year. It's coming to an end, and I got to remind you that for the first program in 2024, we're going to have a review, sports review. So we're going to be reviewing 2023. You're going to get a month-by-month countdown, and we're going to remind you of all the action that took place in 2023. Now, Julius, you didn't play this year. Last year, you played in the Caribbean Invitational Tournament. From the Philippines. No, you never played. You never played in the Caribbean Invitational Tournament.
No, I haven't.
So you missed it again. But you got a chance to watch any to watch it this year.
No, this year I don't believe it was streaming, but it was streaming from behind of the backstop.
Mm-hmm.
But the year when they had all the cameras set up, I was watching. That was beautiful.
Okay. But you followed it. You
Yes,
followed
I
the
did.
games a little bit.
Yeah.
You felt you missed out on
Yeah,
that
as usual.
opportunity.
As usual.
You would have loved to be here and play.
That's right.
Now, looking at that competition, we had the Netherlands in, we had Curaçao in again. What? How do you feel about the level of baseball on St. Martin? Also considering your experiences up until now.
Again, it goes to show us that on the baseball level we're behind, and we should. I mean, whoever it is that is in power of sports, they should start looking into, baseball a little bit more, because as I said, we would need the facilities and the coaching to at least bring up the level of baseball back in St. Martin.
Now we had some tremendous play, some good games from 7-1 Elite represented St. Martin. I think we came up short in the pitching. How is the pitching? How is the pitching done in the U.S., the training, for example? How does Bethany go about training their pitchers? Because we see Vincent Martin to be coming up short in the pitching department all the time.
As I said, the endurance. One thing that me and my brothers we hold to our heart is you know, you need an arm for baseball. You need your arm to be strong and healthy. You know, you have the J-band, you have the heavy balls, you have exercises to, you know, at least strengthen your arm. You have shoulder workouts to make your shoulder strong. And I would say another thing that we're lacking in is the games. You know, sometimes we only play in the weekends. And I would say roughly less than 30 games we play per year, you know, which is way behind, you know, way behind.
So we would have to increase the number of games that we're playing to enhance the sport. But you was a pitcher. Why did you stop pitching?
I mean, I stopped pitching because it's a risk to myself. You know, I played third base, and then imagine I'm pitching and then I get a ball hit back to me. I used to pitch almost every week, and why I could have keep up to that level was, you know, I took care of my arm. You know, you have the J-bands to strengthen your small fibers in your muscles, and you know, we don't really see these guys being dedicated to the training. You did
any tryouts pitching at Bethany?
No, no, because I know if I do, I might get a role of a pitcher.
but what's wrong with getting the role of a pitcher? What's wrong with getting the role of a pitcher?
I like to swing the bat, you know. I like to
swing
the bat.
Okay. As a pitcher, you don't get to
swing the bat. Yeah, that's right.
All right. But some people say that being a pitcher though gives you a better chance to get selected. Is that true? I heard some people mention that before.
As a pitcher,
is that true?
Every team needs pitchers. You know, so as a pitcher, if you can really dominate and you have multiple pitches, there is a high possibility that a team will pick you up, because you could go on the side of the road and you could get someone to swing a bat, and you find that if they have contact or power. But a pitcher needs to be dominant. It's a lot of work for a pitcher. So I would say a pitcher has a longer chance of getting signed.
So you're staying at you're focusing on third base.
That's right, third base mostly.
Third base is a hot corner.
Yes.
Third base is a really hot corner to be. So how have your batting been? You're seeing any improvement? Or let me ask you this: and I know you mentioned equipment and stuff like that, but what's one of the biggest challenges that you see? You know, moving to the U.S., playing for Bethany School, because we have a lot of young persons now committed to teams. So I want to kind of share your experiences with them. What is one of the biggest differences that you see that, you know, getting accustomed to, especially when it comes to the baseball part of it now, the actual baseball training part of it? What is one of the biggest challenges that you see, and that you could, you know, explain to other athletes who are coming, you know, how they maybe couldn't better themselves or not experience the same thing that you experienced? Okay,
so I could speak on the Bethany and then Nicaragua, because when I went to play for the national team for Curacao in Nicaragua, I played against professional players, and one of the biggest takeaways that I saw is, one, for the fielding, is the smoothness, like being smooth, looking confident on the field, and behind the plate when you're swinging the bat is the speed. You know, we only see the same pitchers every week, but if you could see a lefty, a righty, a guy throwing underhand, overhand, it gauges you to be prepared for anything that comes your way. You know, once you see a guy 3 times in a month, it's like, okay,
you get accustomed to it.
You get accustomed, and then you get too comfortable with this guy. But over there, I saw probably in one game, I probably saw 6 different pitchers. And each pitcher has a different thing about them, a different wind-up, a different arm release. So it's the competitiveness that we don't have back home. It's what we need to adjust when we go outside.
So now let's take it step by step. The smoothness. How are you thinking? How should a young athlete now listening to you? How can they work on that smoothness and the confidence?
Repetition and games, because practice is one thing. There are two types of players in baseball: a practice player and a game player.
Explain me that.
Okay, so a practice player, he's the best practice guy. He could hit home runs. He could do everything.
You do everything in practice.
But once it comes to the games, it's like a whole different player.
He can't break up.
Can't do anything. And then you have a game player, a guy that doesn't come to practice or who's always lazy in practice. But when it comes to game
comes
time,
alive.
He's alive. So I would say reputation where you get about 100, 150 ground balls. You train, and then, as I said, going back to the game time, when you see different batters, you see a big guy and me playing third base, a big guy hitting a ball to third base is a killer, But then eventually you'll get accustomed to it. Then you have a skinny guy putting down a bunt, and then it just flows, it becomes your second nature.
Okay, great. Some great advice there. Now, you mentioned going to Nicaragua, and I know that you were selected to play on the Curacao National Under-23 squad.
Yes, sir.
Now, how did you roll into that?
And it happened so quickly. The coach needed some players, and he reached out to a guy named Leonora.
Yeah,
and I believe he's from St. Martin. He was born in Curacao, but lived in
St. Martin.
Yeah, so he knew that I was in the Dominican Republic training, and then I went into college, and then he reached out to me, and he was like, hey, the coach needs some players, you should reach out to him. And then spoke with the coach, sent some videos, had some conversations, we had some meetings and what's not, and then he was like, okay, hey, here's your ticket, you're coming to Nicaragua. So I flew from Kansas
to Nicaragua directly. So
no, not directly. I stopped in Miami.
But you didn't go to Curacao to practice with the team or anything?
Nothing.
So how does that work? So you link up via Dudley Leonora, you get a ticket to go to Nicaragua, and you arrive in Nicaragua. What happens from there?
So from time of arrival, the next day we had a training session with all the guys that came together. There were some guys that were signed professionally, some guys that were released, and I think it was 4 of us that came from college. So it was it's just a mix, So it was a nice experience down there.
So how much teams played in that competition?
In our pool, I believe we had 5 teams, and then in the A pool, I had 4 teams. So in total,
it was 9. Like a World Baseball Classic.
It's qualifiers.
Okay.
Venezuela. I believe it was Venezuela, Colombia won the qualifiers, so they're going into the World Baseball Classic. So you have the Caribbean, the Pan Am, called the Pan Am, and then so just from the Caribbean, whoever wins goes into the World Baseball Classic. So this was just the qualifiers.
The qualifier.
Yes, sir.
So how did that experience work out for you? Because they brought you in, you trained along with the team, and how because the coaches speak English. Though.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do. So how did it go along? It went along well because once you're a baseball player, and see a baseball player. So I didn't get much playing time, but it's not, to me, it doesn't matter about the playing time because it's more about the quality of the experience that you have. Even in the dugout, when we were losing about 0-7, I was the only one in the dugout, shouting, cheering on the team. And that night when we had a meeting with the whole team together, the coach said, King is the only one that was cheering on the team, and he's not even from Curacao. And then surprisingly, the president of the Curacao Baseball Federation, he gave me an offer to come down in the summer to play baseball down in Curacao. So it goes to show that on and off the field, no matter that they're Curacaoians, those professional guys that are better than me and have more on their resume than me, I still played my role in the dugout.
And then remain positive.
That's right. And it goes to show
supportive.
That's right. It goes to show that, it's just not about playing on the field. I know, yes, I wanted to play, but at the same time, you need to be positive and be a light to the team, so it goes to show that not only to be the best player on the field, you have to be the best player in the dugout as well.
That's some great advice because it's important to remain positive even when, and that's something that's difficult for a lot of players to remain positive, even though they're not playing or the coach is not calling on you to remain positive and support your team no matter what. That's very good. So you go down. You're gonna make that trip to Curacao because I think they're starting a summer professional league.
Yes, that's right. So I know they have a winter league which recently finished, and now the summer league is coming about.
All right, let's go back to Bethany. Tell us a bit more about Bethany in the U.S. now. So you guys from September now down to when is just practice? When is the real competition going to start?
It starts in February.
In February.
Yes.
And how much months? February until when you?
Until about May, June. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a pretty short, intensive.
Yes, about 4 months. 4 months of games.
Competition.
That's right.
4 months of games. And you have any idea which part of the U.S. you're going to be traveling to play, or is it just in Kansas you guys are going to be playing?
No, the furthest place I believe one of the seniors said is Texas, like in the middle of Texas. That's one of and it's just driving distance. So I believe it's about 6 to 8 hours.
So you guys are gonna have to jump in a bus.
On a bus, yeah.
In the school bus and take it down to Texas.
Take it down to Texas, yes. And then once you're down there, they provide a hotel and you play about 3 or 4 games, like a series. So you don't drive that far just for one game.
Just for one game.
Yeah.
So you met any other Caribbean baseball players at Bethany?
Yes, we have some Puerto Ricans. So they speak Spanish and we get along, and there's about two Dominicans as well. So, we all click.
And the rest are just Americans,
yeah.
American players.
Some guys came from Colorado, Texas. 2 guys are from Florida. So it's a whole mix.
How is the balance between the American players versus international players? When I say balance, I mean is there for example that the American players are given more preference, or how does that work? Is it just
no? I don't believe. From what I've seen so far, there's nothing about being American you have more preference. The only preference I have seen is the seniors. They get majority of their time to play because they're on their way out. So for me as a freshman, I will not get as much playing time as a senior or a junior because they're on their way out and it transfers as well.
Well, unless you
exponentially well.
Yeah, exponentially well.
Yeah.
Then you
So going back.
Then you will knock a senior out of his position.
That's right. Which is rare to see. So going back to the Americans and the international players, there's no difference. It's based on your performance, how well you play. No matter if you're doing good in school, it's just about how well you play.
How well you play.
That's right.
Oh, that's good to hear. Radio listeners, if you just joined us, you missed a very interesting program with a very dynamic young student athlete at Bethany. The Swedes is
it's a Swedish town.
It's a Swedish town.
Yes, that's right.
Wow. Okay. And he's in Kansas. Julius King, the younger brother of is a former professional baseball player. Junior King. Junior King. He played some professional baseball. Yeah. So he's here with us. He's in with us for the full hour, man, and really give us some valuable information. So I hope that a lot of the young aspiring student athletes who have been now committed to various schools in the U.S. For softball, both softball and baseball, that they're taking note of some of this information, because it's not all it's not all peaches and herbs. So it's challenging, and as you mentioned in the first part of the program, you have to do a lot of time management and focus on academics, studying. So why did you choose finance as a major? Most people on a sports scholarship, I think they go towards sports management, athletic trainer or something like that. Why finance? What's your
finance? I love to deal with numbers, and as you said, finance. Just the economy. We have next year, 2024-2025 is going to be one of the greatest years in the economy. I love cryptocurrency, so that's something I look into daily. And why business administration? My dad, he has his own company, his business, and he doesn't have a degree per se, but he knows what he's doing. He makes his own invoice, and most of what he taught me, dealing with the taxes and making an invoice. When I reached that period in the class, I was like, okay, that showed me this. So I would blow by that particular part. So
So that hands-on experience came in handy
That's
in
right.
school.
And as I say, I just love, the economy, seeing how money works, how money flows in and out, the banking system, everything about it.
Finance is a great study, man. Yeah. That's a great study because money moves the world.
That's right.
Money moves the world.
Right.
So what gave you such a great interest into cryptocurrency?
Oh, nice question. So cryptocurrency is going to be the next monetary dollar, I would say, because the dollar is being devaluated. And not recently, but a couple of years back, Rolando Bryson, he talked about Bitcoin Cash being a legal tender on the island. But to me, when he said that, I say, why Bitcoin Cash? Did you do your research on the Bitcoin Cash? Because Bitcoin Cash is someone that made Bitcoin Cash off of Bitcoin, which was created in 2009. And you have so many better things than Bitcoin Cash to make a legal tender on St. Martin. If you look at El Salvador, the president of El Salvador, he made Bitcoin a legal tender in El Salvador, which is Bitcoin is something that's sustainable, and you also have other cryptocurrencies as Ethereum, Binance Coin, and all these other things. So to me, is if you want to make something a legal tender for the island, it should be something that's more sustainable and profitable for the people. So.
Hey, that's why we're looking for you to come back with your finance degree,
That's right.
and put these things in place.
Yeah.
Now, before we close off this morning, tell me the most memorable baseball experience that you had up until now. Something that stands out. Anytime you think back, that's the highlight of your career up until
now. I would say probably playing with me and my brothers on the same team. And I remember there was one game, my younger brother, Julius King, he hit a home run, and just the training and putting your body through pain, and then to see him actually hit his first home run and the excitement he was in, it goes to show that sports goes a long way. I was in Kansas, and then I got flown out to Nicaragua with people I never even met in my life, and who would have thought I would have been in college and then going down? Not forgetting my parents, of course, being the backbone of everything. But the most memorable, I would say, just playing with my brothers on the same team, because where do you find in baseball history, although it's not professional, but where do you find three brothers on the same team, and then you hear
a lot of competition between you guys as brothers.
One trying to hit a home run, the next one trying to do,
So after Julian hit his home run, it was up that you had to hit one.
Hit one, and then guess what? I got struck out. Trying to keep up with the younger one, but it's just amazing on what sports could do. Seeing this young guy being a sportsman of the year, that's positive, and
something that inspires you to.
That's right.
Perfect your craft.
That's right. And when I came back on the island, I saw there's something on YouTube and on Instagram, the millionaires group or squad, whatever it is. Three young three young adults, putting together a podcast and trying to bring the youths together and talking about how we should grow, because there's not as many like-minded people out there in the world, and when you do find someone that you could talk about your dreams and aspirations, you have to keep them close, and another thing I would say too is read books. There's one book that I love, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He talks about,
very good book.
You read it before?
No, I didn't read it, but I saw some YouTube videos.
Yes, it's a very good
I'm not
book.
a reader. Honestly, I'm not a reader. I prefer to watch.
Okay, because it speaks about your philosophy, having a burning desire to chase for what you want in life. Don't let life happen to you. You make your life. I rather fail. He said, I rather try and fail rather than failing to not try. Something around those lines. And it goes to show that, these young ones, you see these kids that got committed. Committed is, you sign up to go to the college. Yes, it's a big thing, but remember, you need your schoolwork to be intact. You need, your finances. You need to check in with your parents if you could pay, if you're not on a scholarship, because not all schools give scholarships. And, St. Martin, I must say thank you to the St. Martin Sports Government, the Minister Samuel. thank you to you as well, you know, for giving all the insight on where the avenues that St. Martin can help. And I would say to those athletes that got committed, if your school doesn't provide a scholarship or whatever, even if they do provide a scholarship, you know, seek out help from the government, because, you know, we tend to say, oh, St. Martin doesn't help its people, but there are ways and means that's out there, but we just don't see it. And once you meet the right people, you know, you stick to them, you be grateful, you be thankful, you know. As I would say, just be positive, you know, that's all we could do.
Hey, that's a great way to take us out of 2023 and out of the program Sports Forum, man. You heard it here from a young student athlete, intelligent young man. Had both all brothers here in the program, man. I have to say kudos to your parents for did a fantastic job with you guys, man. Really impressive. Remain positive, you know, do your best, and make St. Martin proud.
Yes, we'll do.
Julius King is your brother.
Yeah. That's it.
It's Junior, Julian, and Julius
that's right.
King. So all three brothers. Hey, congratulations to you all. I want to wish you all the best for 2024. And until next week, we're going to see you in 2024 with the Sports Review. This has been Sports Forum for today, December 30th, the last Saturday of the month, and the last Saturday of the year. I want to thank you for supporting us during 2023 and invite you to be back with us in 2024. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Ciao for now. Hey.
You know, it's a pleasure.
Great program, man.